All right, this is Mike Fish. I'm back with lesson 6 of section 1 of our training on short-term rental properties. And section 1 is an overview on how to analyze the potential of a lake home property for short-term rental profitability. So the next 3 sections are actually going to dive a little bit deeper into amenities. And you may be asking, why are we talking about amenities now? And the reason why is we sell an experience as much as we rent a property. I've got properties that I manage right now that are $400,000 properties that bring more revenue than $800,000-900,000 properties. And there are properties that I've managed, properties I've worked on that are bringing in 30 or 40,000 a year compared to other rental properties in Minnesota that hit 150 or 200,000 a year. So it's really important when you're analyzing these things that you understand how important the amenities actually are. And because as a property manager, we give people advice, but I will tell you that the return on the investment when you're developing one of these things has everything to do with the amenities and making sure that you're not don't have your hands tied behind your back with a property that doesn't lend itself to certain amenities is something very important to consider. And it has to do with more about it's more than just the size of the place inside and out. So let's talk about kind of the main categories of amenities. When we work with someone, we actually give them lists. Here's how you target these different target groups. And quite frankly, the more checks you have, boxes you have checked, the better you tend to do. So, of course, as we mentioned a little bit, the first is that the waterfront amenities. And do you have the ability to develop a swimmable beach? Is the lake bottom swimmable? How clean is the water? Is the water, mucky? Is it swampy? One of the main considerations is when you have your dock out, if the water is a little bit low that year, how deep is the water? We've had properties on years where lakes have been lower where we've had to give huge refunds because the water is a foot deep at the end of the dock, and you've got people that have booked that were going to bring big boats or rented big boats. So it's really that's a very important consideration when looking at these things. Also, on those outside amenities, as you know, the usability of the yard, the incline of the yard for all of the games like spike ball, ladder golf, volleyball, bean bags, having an area down by the beach to hang out, having a fire pit area to hang out, having outdoor dining either on a deck or a patio lakeside, and that dining should be able to handle the capacity that you've got advertised for sleeping. When we get indoors, we're asking, is there a place for a game room, a movie theater, at least a TV room, family hangout? Can we have high-speed internet? So important nowadays. I've got some properties that are a little bit more remote. The internet's a little bit slower. Constant battle keeping those reviews up and keeping people happy because of the expectations nowadays when it comes to, quite frankly, the internet speed and everybody jumping on the internet. When it comes to heating, cooling, again, we've mentioned some of this. Does it have central air? Where's that heating coming from? Are there inside again? Are those multiple areas to hang out? Be particularly cautious in the kitchen and dining when you look at those amenities. Is that dining area, can it support the sleeping capacity? Is the kitchen, is it big enough for somebody to actually cook a meal and entertain? And so very important to consider as you're looking at these properties. And when you're looking at a family-friendly property, you have to ask yourself about those finishings, right? If I had a 1-year-old, right, crawling on the ground all day, am I comfortable with that? And again, no matter how clean it is, if it doesn't look clean, you're going to run into to issues. So that's really falls under the must-haves when it comes to cleanliness. Again, we're getting a little off target with amenities, but it is an amenity to have a house that doesn't have an odor, you know, looks clean, is clean. On the higher end, luxury amenities we mentioned, is a room for a hot tub, is a room for a sauna, do we have a workable fireplace we can let people use, you know, is there maybe a second fridge, is a huge amenity people love. Do we have an outdoor bar area in the game room, maybe outside by the grill? Do we have an inside bar area? Again, we're looking for multiple hangouts inside and outside. Another kind of big category for those amenities is pet-friendly amenities, right? Do we have a place where we can, you know, in the yard where we can fence in part of the yard to have a fenced-in area for the pets? Huge. The flooring or the finishings good, you know, when it comes to pets. So the way we look at it is we've got basically these lists. Here's how we target these people, these people, these people, these people, these people. The more boxes you got checked, the better off you do. And that's very important to understand when you're looking at these lake homes. I am not discouraging anybody who's currently got a house to say, hey, I might want to do a vacation rental. This will give you maybe an idea a little bit about expectations. But it's a different conversation when you're out shopping for a house and looking for the best return on your investment, right? Then you're really thinking about these things ahead of time and saying, is this a property that we can, again, check as many of those boxes as we can? And so this is our first video on amenities. We're going to dig a little bit further into the inside and the outside amenities and some different videos because we're trying to keep each lesson fairly short. But I think this is a good overview of the amenities that you may want to consider as you're looking at properties. And there are, quite frankly, many others, you know, but these are kind of the main ones that you want to make sure that you're considering. So again, this is Mike Fish. Thank you for your time, and I hope to hear from you soon. Depending on where you're seeing this, please like the video, subscribe, stay in touch. We are going to be putting together a lot of training for the short-term rental industry, where we can help guide folks from, you know, being newbies to being successful in the vacation rental arena. So thank you.